Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the OWC World Cup 2022. We are here with another match after just a short break. We have Chile versus Norway coming at you next. I am Chile Repair, joined today by Demarsh. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Chile Repair. Feels good. Feels good to be actually on the OG channel. I spent a lot of time on OC Live 2 for today, so it's good to dip my toes back over here.
Yeah, we finally unrelegated you from the B stream. Unfortunately, with all of the overlaps this week, we had Demarsh pick up quite a few of our Sunday matches on these slots, and that inevitably pushed onto the B stream for a lot of these, but a good match here on the A stream. This is a losers bracket match. Up next, the winner of this will be facing off against Indonesia next weekend. I think, given the roster changes on the side of, Chile missing a couple key players and Norway kind of adding a few, what are your kind of expectations for this match right now?
I mean, it depends how you look at this. So, I mean, the main thing I'm looking at is, qualifier results. They don't paint the best picture for Chile, unfortunately. If you look at these based on those sorts of results, you can't necessarily see a winning strategy from Chile. But if you look at this from the point of round of 32, it actually paints a bit of a better picture. A lot of different maps were played by these two teams. Very little overlap except on one of the speed maps, and then the Fremont 3 from last week. So really there's a lot of unknown potential here for these two teams about how they can go about strategy wise and what they want to pick into.
Yeah, I think that it is going to leave a lot to be said for this match, especially, if we're comparing last week's scores, you generally see a little bit of overlap for both sides. We did have two mutual maps played on here, the DT3 and Fremod 3. Surprisingly, kind of going the way opposite to what you would normally expect for these teams. I think Norway, we generally talk a lot about their mod capabilities, and they kind of go through and have so much variety and versatility, and Chile actually ended up winning that Fremod 3 pick as a team score with about 2.7 million compared to Norway at around 2.5 million there. DT3, the other mutual pick, going to Norway with a double FC on Melver and Nindrake. So you're adding a lot of good mechanics to Norway this year, which they may have had in the past, and I think it was less of a talking point than it is this year. I think they've picked up a lot more top end, I think, on the mechanics side of things, and I think in the past they've got by on their mechanics because they had a few players who were able to, and now they're going to be able to push themselves into the later stages here with their abilities. Chile certainly seems to think that they're still pretty good at some of those more niche skill sets here. They're going to be banning out the Hard Rock 2. It's going to be a No Mod 1 ban from Norway. They're getting rid of those raw mechanics versus Chile here. I think, looking at the MP links, we didn't see a whole lot of aim out of Chile, though.
Yeah, I think the aim roster this year has definitely been nerfed quite a bit with some of their mainstays stepping out, which does hurt their scores, but definitely don't think it's a bad thing. It allows them to, in a way, refocus their efforts into actually what they're strong at, and they do have their strengths, and can be quite scary. So, if you look at, especially like free mod maps where they can pick and choose to have certain players on certain mods, I think Chile really do stand out on maps like that. I think they really have a good roster for targeted picks and just letting players play what they feel most comfortable on, really.
Yeah, I think, and again, referring to last week, you see a lot of variation in Chile's kind of raw aim ability on here. I guess if we're comparing two potential aim-oriented picks, DT1 and Hard Rock 1, the ability to play both of those maps on that team the disparity in scores is absolutely massive. You're looking at a 1.4-ish million team score total on Hard Rock 1 compared to a much more impressive 3.1 million on DT1. So you've got so much, openness on your skill sets there. And I think that with that Hard Rock 1 score and the Hard Rock 2 ban this week, Norway should look towards something like Cheat Reel rather early. I know it's a little bit more simplistic for this week's Hard Rock 1 than last, but I'm interested to see how that goes. It looks like Norway is going to go for an aim-styled pick. It is going to be free mod 1, a little bit lower AR on this one. More uncomfortable for the hidden roster, or should I say more comfortable for players like OWC, who kind of are the front runners in this skill set.
I think this map is really nice for players that really like that dense reading style. Very good for Norway's sort of roster, especially if they don't want to dip straight into hidden just yet. I think it's a great alternative, and something I think will serve them very well. I'm interested with Norway in particular whether they're going to overmod at this stage. We saw it quite heavily last week. They really rely on their mod players, but whether they'll do it again this week, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that with a slot like this, you can expect certain things. In terms of mods, I'm also not entirely sure. I think that, like I mentioned earlier, OWC is kind of that universal constant hidden on Norway. If you look at last week, Tormen was kind of exceptional in their performance across the board on here, and I wonder if because of that, Norway is going to have them run on potential no mod for this pick and just get the confident FC or close to it on this. Looks like Melver is going to be the third player for Norway, just on the wrong side, and that could be the potential overmod from Norway on Melver, maybe taking a second hidden and then their fourth, bringing in a Hard Rock, unless Melver wants to opt in for that. But trying to solidify the rosters right now, having quite a bit of trouble here for both sides. Finally starting to get into things and finalizing. Anthony W going to be that last player on Norway. Another decently strong hidden player, definitely not quite as strong as players like Melver or OWC or GN. I don't know. I don't know what the mods are going to be. I feel like Melver can play. He can play Hard Rock or hidden. I think OWC most likely plays hidden. Chile Chalk Gamer or number 37 potentially on the hidden, and then I think actually maybe those are just both the mod player. I don't know. Oh, all right. So it looks like number 37 hidden, Yunha Hard Rock, OWC hidden, Tormen Hard Rock, and then an overmod on a hidden Hard Rock on Anthony W. So Melver takes the no mod.
Yeah, I think this is what Anthony W there is going for. Is he's just trying to take the density out of this map while still playing on hidden, which probably plays more to his strengths than away from it. So could be worth the payoff, but does put a bit of pressure on the mod players. With them being the main focus, where of course you've got Chile who have gone for the very standard approach with the bare minimum requirements, and probably relying more on the no mod players to pull FCs in than relying on the mod players themselves.
Looks like a good strategy right now. Tormen and Anthony W having some trouble at the beginning of this, and there goes Melver as well. So it's a three-way reset for Norway already. Just OWC on the hidden right now, almost approaching halfway in here. Not super stellar accuracy, but it's hard to act this map. Number 37 on the hidden is going to drop the first break for the side of Chile, but not before they've pulled up about a 1.5 million score lead here. Yunha going to be finding a break as well as Suntan. So we're down to the 1FC to 1 now, and Norway has recovered the combo. We're seeing a lot of breaks from Chile in the later half of this map here, but it's being traded. Team W could bring this back, potentially. 300 supporting combo on Yokespie, who's matching Chalk Gamer. All of the score that Norway is pulling back right now is on Anthony W.
Yeah, Chalk Gamer and Yokespie really having a battle here, but the supporting combo that's going to start to do the damage. I mean, it's not amazing out from Anthony as he finds a break there. That is probably going to flip it.
It's close.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Chalk Gamer's gone.
Oh, talk about flipping it. Unfortunate break for Chalk Gamer.
But again, Yoke's got a hold. He's not out of the woods. There's a bit of combo on Chile on number 37, so a break here could open the door for them.
Yeah, could possibly, especially at that 95% accuracy, but knowing Yokespie, he's made it through the hardest part of the map now, and there's not too much to break on at the ending here. Melver has developed a 400 combo to support with 98% accuracy, going to put up that 500k on the side into the last set of jumps, and Norway in kind of a big flip from the start of that, really cleaning up their combos from some early breaks there and taking advantage of the full reset on the side of Chile to win that one. Chalk Gamer with that break, really the only reason that Chile was kind of in that for a very long time. Unfortunately, finding that break towards the ending, they would have won the pick otherwise. It was pretty close, so Norway's got to be careful of maps like this going forward, because, you know, Yokespie might have slipped away from Chalk Gamer's grasp on this one, but it might not happen every time. There's only one miss. Yokespie getting a little nervous on that one. A very impressive performance regardless. 919k with hidden on an AR9 map of this style is very difficult to pull off and should be congratulated. But Norway are going to need a little bit better of a team performance on these future picks in order to secure some more points versus Chile.
Yeah, decisiveness is what they'll want. So it'll be interesting to see what Chile want to open up with. Hidden 2. Okay.
Huh. I'm rationalizing this in my head as fast as I possibly can. And I'm seeing so much 50-50 on this that I'm almost impressed that Chile picked it. Like, this is fairly similar in terms of like what I would consider cursor control level, like aim picks in here, where you're snapping from the sliders into the doubles, and then you know, you have to hold that on AR8 with the hidden modification on. And all things considered from previous weeks, I think, yeah, Chile just didn't play either hidden map last week, and Norway put up a 3 million plus team score on the hidden 2. So they're really going into this blind, I think, unless they know something we don't.
It's very possible. But I mean, I'm just looking at their qualifier team scores, and yeah, it's so 50-50 that it's hard to rationalize. And it's not like, you know, Norway had an underperformance or anything in Hidden 2, and, you know, perhaps there's a misunderstanding there, but, you know, Norway, they got 3 million team score on this last weekend, so, you know, you're really up against a potentially tough score if they can replicate that in any form.
Chile, they've got good players for this, and, you know, I think on a later pick, I don't think I would have questioned this, but generally, you know, what you like to see from teams in round of 16, because these matches are best of 9, you want to see the stronger picks come out first. Like, you want to see teams open up with the maps that they are, you know, on paper 100% guaranteed to win. It's just the nature of the lower best of. And I think that it worries me for Chile that their opening pick is something that overlaps so heavily with the skill sets on both sides. You do see a break from Suntan and Chalk Gamer pretty early on here, which doesn't matter a whole lot, but that break from Gonza does, and Chalk Gamer as well. And you can kind of start to see now why this was a little concerning because of the performance capabilities on both sides. It's a traded break from Anthony W, but it's 1-2 a bunch there. Goes DN. Chalk Gamer trades it again. Again, they're just trading off these breaks here. So unless number 37 can clutch out and every FC drops on Norway, then, you know, it's 2 million score in their favor. Oh, goodness. Oh, no.
Boy.
Number 37 is playing super well right now, though, unfortunately. 99.1% accuracy on the FC. Gotta give credit where it's due. That is a very impressive score right now. Outacting everybody else in the lobby, trying to do whatever they can for Chile right now. Unfortunately, Chalk Gamer having a lot of trouble on this compared to the previous pick. There goes Yolk's Pie. OWC from him.
Yeah, but Marcus is there, number 37, going to be finding a break there. I mean, it's... I don't want to say it was a bad pick, but I can't really justify the mentality on this. They were, unfortunately, just outplayed at every turn on that map.
Well, unfortunate for Chile, but they're going to let a break point slip away on that first one there to Norway, you know, kind of almost doing the same thing that they did last week. It's basically a 3 million team score off of their first pick into Norway, which is pretty close to what they put up last week, just a little bit lower there. And Chile, I think, you know, I can understand their reasoning for picking this. I can see that, you know, you take a look at an AR9 slightly more awkward free mod 1 and, you know, have a really good shot at winning it by a decent bit, basically on the difference of one break, and then go into a map that is kind of like the closest thing to it left in the pool, and hoping you can, you know, make that turnaround. But you know, I think what they failed to consider was the fact that while they're, quote, similar, free mod 1 is much more aim oriented. It's much more requiring of like pure like raw aim ability. They're much more spaced compared to Taiko Time, which is just, you know, can you slow your cursor down enough? Can you control it enough to, you know, hit these denser patterns? And Norway, you know, they've proven themselves in the past to be a little bit more comfortable on something like that. So I think it would do Chile very well to maybe go for some DT later on. They seemed pretty good compared to Norway in speed on, you know, previous weeks. You know, maybe not necessarily in stamina, but, you know, speed definitely a good shot here. Norway's going to go in for the tech map. This is pretty aim oriented too, actually. Again, a lot of aim today.
Yeah, we got the Devil's numbers there and the star rating as well. So you know you're in for a rough time with a map like this. And I'm expecting some interesting stuff. I mean, the way to look at this is that we know that Chile have got some. They got some scores from last week that we can kind of analyze, and I'm assuming they're sticking with the same lineup. So, you know, players like Suntan and Pancho definitely looking to pull in a better performance than they did last week. To try and break Norway here.
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe a sub from Chile here as well. No, number 37 is going to be subbing out, so potentially Gonza filling that fourth spot on Chile for the tech map here. I think Gwynzy potentially subbing in for Norway on this one. They're considering it. It's going to be Yunha for that last spot. Not somebody you normally see for these tech maps. Yunha's definitely one of the more mechanics favored players on this team, and I guess if this is a more aim favored Nomad 4, it does make some sense there. But looking for a turnaround. But I think this could potentially go either way. I think while Norway has looked pretty good on the game so far, and Chile, may have had a rough go of the first two picks here, this is the first of, kind of a different style of map that we've seen picked in this match so far. It's a little bit faster. Sliders are higher velocity. It requires more, consistent aim across the board on some more difficult patternings. So, you're moving out of gimmick more towards mechanics in this pick, and that's going to be kind of the first we've seen of this in this match. So whoever takes this could, have a pretty big advantage for the remainder of the picks.
It definitely leaves a lot open for the winning team here. And Penguinzy going to be finding that first reset alongside Gonza, but Chile should come out slightly on top. No, not with Suntan's break.
Well, it's traded by Nindrake.
Interesting start here.
Yeah, this is really one of those maps that, it's deceptively difficult. I think everyone sees an OMOD 4 like this and they go, oh, it's slider aim, this, and that. I'll just aim beginning and then go straight to the end of the slider, and it really is difficult with some of these slider shapes to consistently maintain that aim without breaking at least once. And, we've seen some good team scores on this, but it's very difficult, and this is one of the maps where you could have a solo performance win it for you just because of the nature of the patterning. I do see a double break and a triple break on the side of Norway. Actually, Mochaccino is going to be able to bring this back for Chile right now. It's just Penguinzy, and Mochaccino has the supporting combo from Suntan, but it's gone now. It's going to be a slow go of things. Penguinzy finds the break. Mochaccino can bring this back. Oh, and Nindrake finds a break as well. Mochaccino's gonna clutch this out for Chile.
Little corner of the map. Mochaccino finally drops, but Gonza is there as well. With a higher combo, I think, than anything on Norway at the moment. Suntan with a miss from nowhere after that break.
That was unfortunate. Yeah, Gonza's gonna hold this down with Pancho right now. Melver, Penguinzy, and Nindrake on the combo. Mochaccino finding a few extra breaks here at the ending. It's a reset for a lot of people. Unfortunately, it's a reset for every single combo on Chile. Oh no, Norway on the backs of Melver and Penguinzy are going to be able to bring this back at the end. Oh, Mochaccino was doing so well at the beginning. Unfortunately, it's difficult ending proving to be too much, and Chile, despite pulling the lead back, is going to be defeated by Norway on the NOMOD 4, their own pick. They almost lost it, but kind of in similar fashion to the first map in FreeMod 1, it seemed like it was all lost for Norway, but their consistency through the entire map proving to be very useful.
Yeah, it's a great recovery there from Elva with the S rank. Really kind of showing what this team's capable of, despite the poor start, to be honest, for Norway on that map. The great combo from Mochaccino, though, kind of just got undermined by the accuracy loss in the latter half of the map. So when they did break, they just couldn't hold on to anything, and that just opened the door for Penguinzy and Anthony to really recover as well. So an unfortunate loss for Chile there, but it definitely showed that they did have the potential to win that, and they were on target to do it, but it just slipped away.
Well, now we're kind of at that turning point in the match here. We've talked about it previously in these best of nines, but you go down a break point and you hit that 3-0 spot, and this is really the time when Chile has to turn this around, otherwise it starts to get out of hand, because remember, best of 9, Norway only needs 2 more points to win now. If for some reason they're able to take this map, they go to match point on their own pick, and that's a situation that no team ever wants to be in. Chile, they're going to go pretty much as raw mechanics free mod as you can get right now. Dare I say this is probably the easiest map in the pool, or at least most simple, simplistic mechanically. in the pool here. So you're really going on, you know, your mod players and your no mods to put up these FCs on this map. This map does require you to basically borderline FC in some of these matches here. This can kind of go down to the ending. So, you know, we're looking for maybe some extra consistency out of Chile on this one on a skill set that they're more comfortable on. But Norway has looked pretty good as a team so far.
It's an interesting choice again from Chile here, but I do have to say they seem to be getting better. I've noticed with Chile's performances, they are starting to make a stance against Norway, and this could be the map to flip it if Norway aren't careful. Because we've seen it many times this weekend that sometimes once a team starts to get momentum, they're almost unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree. I think on a round of 16 pool, you know, we are technically still at a difficulty lower than qualifiers right now. So it's kind of interesting to see actually some of these, you know, teams seeding pretty highly and not putting up as good scores as they did on the qualifiers pool. And I think that's just the nature of the skill set that is almost required for these easier maps. It kind of switches from, you know, being able to play certain maps really well and, you know, knowing what skill sets you have, and more, you know, where is your raw consistency? Like, how often can you put up a good score multiple times in a row without fail? And, you know, whether or not people realize it or not, I do think consistency is a skill set that is kind of exclusive from your kind of other skill set capabilities. So if you're a stream player, a reading player, gimmick player, all that type of stuff, you can be that player and not have as much consistency. And that's really what matters in these early stages. So I think this is kind of where tournament experience and, you know, for the most part, OWC experience does matter. Being able to hold your nerve on a stage this big, you know, being able to, again, replicating performances over and over again. Norway have just done a better job as a team replicating those good performances here. You know, a couple early breaks out of Chile here at the start, which is not what you want to have. But luckily, Lindsay on the Hard Rock is going to be trading at least one of those out, keeping this pretty close. Having some trouble on the Hard Rock for Lindsay, actually dropping to 90% accuracy.
Yeah, Norway is a team that has a lot of OWC experience. Some very good veterans here that hopefully can hold their nerves once again, as Chile still hold the lead here, if ever so slightly, because of those early breaks favouring them. But again, Norway. Oh, that is a big miss though from Gonza there for Chile. I want to say that should be helping Norway, but it doesn't seem to be.
I think their backs are tanking them so hard, that's why. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's literally like 96% and 96 barely on Penguinzy here compared to almost full around mid-98. But man, these combo breaks are going to start to hurt for Chile. There's a second one from Chalk Gamer, and now that's going to really flip the score.
To start bringing things together with Penguinzy finding another reset there. But Norway still holding on to the FCs, and it is the difference maker at the moment, especially with the modifiers. Pushing them further into the lead. Penguinzy being the only one to struggle thus far. Chile, they need a break. There's one from Yolkspie. That gets rid of one of the hiddens. Still don't think, though, that Chile have got an advantage here.
They're going to be able to, you know, keep it a little closer here. Yolkspie getting caught out by that 1-6 pattern right now. There's Gonza missing again on the no mod. You know, we can kind of forgive the Hard Rocks a little bit, given that is what CS 5.8. It does become a little bit more difficult, but you know, if you're a no mod player on maps like this, you know, generally speaking, you're pretty much expected to put up a near FC, because no mods on free mod like this are, you know, almost gimme points in a lot of cases. And it's just so many breaks coming out. Pancho, the second Nomad from Chile, finding a break as well. Melver coming out and doing exactly what he has to for Team Norway right now on the Nomad. He's putting the FC up, or at least something close to it right now, and that's exactly the nature of the role of the Nomad player on these free mods. And you're basically, if you're Chile, you're leaving number 37 on a pretty difficult pick here with Hidden, to kind of clutch things out. Amazing accuracy on number 37, but GN is right behind him.
Yeah, literally it's not making any difference, especially when you consider Melver on the Nomad as well, doing what is almost expected of that mod, and it's what's really doing the damage for this Chilean team. And Norway are going to put it out of reach with another break from Gonza there. GN will not be able to hold on to the FC, so a little bit of difference to be made up for number 37, but it's not even close to what is required, as Norway put themselves on match point already.
That's the dangerous situation we talked about. They have their own pick now. It wasn't it wasn't super far away. It was 200,000 score. Isn't a whole lot, but you kind of expect some better performances on some of these bouts here. Penguinzy having a heck of a lot of trouble on the Hard Rock. Luckily, GN and Melver kind of able to pick up the pieces with the double FC almost for their team here. GN just with a slider break at the ending. Chile, unfortunately, down to 1 FC instead of the 2, making that difference, even though they had higher overall. But, nerves kind of getting to some of these players, I would imagine, in some aspects. I'm fully aware of what these players are capable of. And I've seen Gonza absolutely shred through tournaments with ease. And the nerves maybe just getting a little bit more to them than usual on this bigger stage, and kind of causing that underperformance on Nomad. It's not over for Chile yet, as much as it looks like it is. And Norway does have their own pick here, which is certainly creating a dangerous uphill battle for Chile, but they haven't been down too bad on speed here, but Norway has certainly looked very good on these skill sets. So, apparently did Gonza's mom walk in during the map? Oh, that would actually be tragic. I'm seeing multiple people say that. Oh, you hate to see it. That's actually unfortunate. That would explain the underperformance, but...
How many times did she come in?
It's just like, I wonder, it's like, your mom cracks the door open and starts to talk to you from there, and you like half turn around and try and respond in the middle of the map, and then it ends up, having you miss a couple of different times, unfortunately. But it does make sense because Gonza did recover a little bit afterwards. But, the pick is unfortunately over, and nothing Chile can do about it now, except for try and make a turnaround on this DT. But trying to make a turnaround on DT versus Norway this year is asking quite a lot. This roster is much more capable on these speed picks than they have in the past.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this one, which could be the final map. Hopefully not, as I want to see these teams continue to battle, but both these teams opting to not only not pick it so far, but also to not pick it last weekend either, as it has just been, DT has been the odd one out and just been completely left alone by these teams, and would very much like to see why. Both these teams maybe trying the mind game of, no, you pick it. And been picked now, so let's see which team's got the better tapping mechanics. Getting to this, no one with early breaks.
Ooh, there goes Yunha on that first longer stream, though, unfortunately. Yampa Torment's going to trade it. Going to bring it back in. Low accuracy on both of them. There goes Pancho, though. maybe looking for another break on the side of Norway. You got to see some players slipping in that accuracy. Penguinzi and Melver both down there, but Nindrake at the 99%, proving that they are certainly the strongest player in the lobby on this pick here. You saw another break from Pancho there as well. It's 3 FCs to 2 now. Yumpa Torment and Yuha no longer matching each other. Yumpa Torment going to find another break. It's not enough to swing it over to Chile, but it's certainly going to help a little bit. Yunha's going to be able to... Oh, never mind. Over-aimed a side jump. Oh, goodness. Yumpa Torment trades again, though. Finding a lot of chain misses here is actually going to help out. The 50,000 score difference between Yumpa Torment and Yunha, despite them trading off multiple breaks.
Yeah, but again, these maps, they're not very long, so the door for recovery is closing for Chile. They need to see something go for Norway here. And those big combos from Nindrake, Melver, and Penguinzi are not going to help, and Suntan's going to drop instead, and Melver drops, though. There's still a chance. Very small, but breaks need to come in fast.
They need a full set of breaks, and unfortunately, the breaks come out from everybody but the 2 FCs on Norway. And as we approach the last seconds of the map here, we've made it through the hardest part. Penguinzi and Nindrake basically have nothing to miss on in this ending here. If you've made it through the rest of this map, you're gonna make it through the ending. That's the nature of this pick. And into the close, a 3.5 million team score from Norway, showing their prowess on the speed picks here. And man, oh man, did Norway shut that match down quickly. Unfortunate for Chile. There were so many picks that looked like they could have gone the other way towards the beginning, but Norway just started to pull back so much at the ending. And that's going to result in a 5-0 victory for Norway in this losers bracket match. Unfortunately for Chile, means their elimination from the tournament this year. Norway going to advance to next weekend to face off against Indonesia. They are your winners of this match.
Yeah, a much more decisive performance from Norway this week. Definitely, I think, something that a lot of Norwegian fans will be excited to hear. Of course, commiseration for Chile. They don't manage to move on this year, but hopefully next year they have a bit more luck and bring back the Chile we all know and love next year.
Good performances, good qualifiers last year. You know, every team, you know, has to take that down year every once in a while, and fortunately for Chile, this is that year. We'll be happy to see them return once again next year. They generally come back again and again. We will be eagerly awaiting their return in the 2023 tournament. Norway, we're not going to say goodbye to just yet. And matches also not complete just yet. We have 2 more for the day.